Do you want to know how to create a 3D architectural program diagram for your project? In this video, I'll show you how I created this diagram for my project in less than 10 minutes. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Tips with Mona. If you haven't seen my face before, hi, my name is Mona Abou Fayad. I'm an architect and a designer. I use this platform to explain some designing and architectural tricks for you. If you haven't subscribed before, then just do it now. But for now, let's jump into screen recording to start our video.
The first step that we're gonna do is gonna be on Sketchup. So here you open your model to see what design that you have. Here I have my building right here, and here I have exploded the masses, specify the function of each mass. But now I'll go to my styles, I'll keep it on 3D printing style, and then I'll set my model to ISO and make sure that your camera is on parallel projection. I'll go to my edit, uncheck the edges and profile, and then I'll go to File, Export 2D Graphic. I'll select the file that I want to save my PDF on, and then I'll call it Shot 1, and make sure that you're selecting PDF, and I'll hit Export. This is our first export. We're gonna do 3 exports. Okay, for the second export, it's gonna be a hidden line. I'm gonna go to Edit, I'm gonna check edges on and keep the profiles unchecked. And then, without changing the zoom or extents of the view, I'll go to File, Export 2D Graphic, and I'll call it Shot 2. And then for the third and last one, I'm gonna uncheck the edges and check on the profile, and then set the width to 2, and then do the same process of exportation. So now I have 3 PDFs. Now we can jump into the Photoshop part. This is my Photoshop. I'll create new, I'll go to print, I'll select a standard A3 paper, and I'll change the resolution to 150, and I'll set it to landscape. Okay, this is my working space. I'll go to my folder, I'll select the 3 shots that we've just created on SketchUp. I'll drag them to my working space, and I'll hit OK. OK, then OK, and then OK. I'll drag the colored isometric to the bottom, and then I'll select my 3 layers and I'll rasterize layers. And then I'll use a guideline. I'll put it right here, and then I'll go to the rectangular selection tool. I'll choose one of the layers and then just drag it down to align the top of the rectangle with the guideline. And the reason why I separated the 3 layers is that maybe I want to play with the opacity of each layer. For example, I can select this layer and give it a little bit more of the stroke. Of course, a black one, and then so that will make more definition to my diagram. Maybe I want to select the colored layer and maybe reduce the opacity, or maybe increase it. So in this way, I'll have the freedom to change the colors or to change the opacity, or even to give one of these layers some stroke, like this one, or we can keep it like this, and so on. So this is better to separate your layers. Now, let me show you how we can put some icons here to define each space. For that, I have prepared a few icons right here that I'm gonna drag to my working space to show you how to do this. I'll do the same. I'll right click, rasterize these layers, and then I'll select one by one. So this is a spa sign that I'm gonna be using for this space right here. So I'll put it here, and then this is a car parking, so I'll put it here for the basement. And then this is a restaurant that is gonna be here in this mass, and then this is a hotel right here. This is the residential tower, it's gonna be this one, so I'll put it here. And then the gym is gonna be with the spa. Let's just scale this one down. If you want to get these icons or similar to these icons, you can get them from thenownproject.com. Okay, now I'll get this arrow to link it with the masses. I'll do this real quick. And now after placing the icons, I was thinking about defining the outer line of these masses. So for that, I'll switch on the stroke for this layer, but I'll give it a different vibe, which is removing the stroke from these, and I'll just keep it on the outside. For that, I'm gonna use my polygonal lasso tool. And then I'll just keep the outline of the shapes. I'll do this real quick. And now, after I removed the inner edges and I kept the outline edges only, you can see how it enhanced the diagram so much. See, this is without the outline definition and this is with. It really gave it some definition to the diagram. It looks now more architectural, of course. So now we have this layer and this one for the inner edges and this one for the colors. And now let's just put some colors behind it to give it some dynamic movement. For that, I'm gonna go right above my background and create a new layer. And then I'll go to my brushes to see which brush I can use to create this dynamic effect. I'll try to search in my brushes if I have anything in my brushes that can do this effect. And I'm gonna be using this brush right here. You can use whatever you like, and then I'll select a color, any color. I'll do some random work and then I'll check if I like it or not. Let's start. After that, I think that I want to reduce the opacity of this layer that I just created, and then I'll just Ctrl+T it to create some white frame around my diagram. After that, you can create a circle under your diagrams to make them pop and not blend with the background. So I'll create a new layer. I'll select a color and then I'll just move it down and try to play with it. And I'll Ctrl+J this layer and put it right here as well. So maybe we need to reduce its size. That's a little bit of enhancement. And now we can write a small text right here. Program diagram. And I'll just change the font to something that matches my presentation. I think impact is always a good option for this architectural posters. I'll give it a darker color and then I'll Ctrl+T and increase it in a dramatic way. And then I don't like the gap here, so I'll go to my character and change the auto. Let's just keep it 110 and close it. Then I'll just align it to the left. That's better. And I'll make it go out of the white frame. That's nicer. And I'll double click to get my layer style. And I'll try to give it like drop shadow, but I'll give 100 opacity. And then I'll change the angle to this side, yes. And then I'll move it a little bit. I'll keep the size 0, spread 0. I want it very sharp. The opacity on 100. The angle is -175, the distance is only 14 and the noise is on 0, and I'll hit OK. So I think that this is a very dynamic and modern way to create your architectural program diagram. You don't have to stick to the old-fashioned and boring ways to explain your program. This is very easy, very simple, and you saw how it didn't take any time from me. You can always do this, and you don't need to study which background you want to put and which font you want to use. It always comes with the flow when you're working. So I really advise you to try this method, and it doesn't take time to create even on SketchUp. It's just like creating masses. So just try it and leave your questions in the comments section below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one. But please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and hit the notifications bell on so you can get notified whenever I upload a new video. But for now, bye!